Well, this vlog was never going to happen, but this morning Lids and I woke up and it's blue skies, the weather's taken a turn, and so we thought, do you know what? Scrap all plans today, let's get out in the garden and let's get some stuff done, because we've had a little string of bad weather and we've just had a little break in it. So we're going to make the most of that opportunity, and I've decided that it's time to tackle the man shed. Now, I feel like this is a running theme on my channel. I've been doing the man shed tackle every year for the last few years, so it's another one of those videos, but I've accumulated a lot of stuff since the beginning of the man shed series. I've, as you know, got into beekeeping, which comes with a lot of equipment, and also gardening as well. And of course, the shed is where all the gardening equipment goes. If you've been a sub to the channel for a while, you'll know that I recently picked up a load of steel gear, and I've basically just completely over flooded the shed. So there are some things in there that can probably be cut, and there's also, as always, some organisation that can help create some more space. Lids and I were actually talking yesterday, and there is a reason why we haven't replaced the shed, because it actually needs it. The roof is not looking too healthy, the fascias on it are all corroded and rotting away, so we do need a new shed, or at least we need to have that one fixed. But there is a reason why we have not taken that step yet to get a bigger shed, and it's because it's kind of connected to other decisions that we need to make around the house and garden. So we don't want to jump the gun and end up putting something in that isn't fit for purpose or doesn't work correctly with the wider plans, should we say. So for the moment, we were talking last night about perhaps putting like an extension on it. So I'd like to have a little bit of a separate log store and bin storage space on that shed, rather than kind of like squeezing them on the outside and also having all the wood on the inside, because it does take up a lot of room, and it would free up space for some of my gardening gear as well as the bee equipment. So that's a little task that I may take on myself, just like a temporary measure, and also fix up the roof and the fascias at the same time, and also get rid of the window that's in the shed that's completely redundant. It doesn't need to be there. So that's the reason why we haven't got a new shed, because I'm sure lots of you heard me speak before about wanting to get a new shed, but it is kind of connected to a wider project, so we do need to hold off until we know what we're doing with that, which will probably be 2022. It may be the year after, but hopefully it'll be 2022 and we'll get that dusted off. So whatever happens to the shed in the meantime will just purely be for the moment, and it'll also be temporary. But there are a few areas of this house that are essentially my spaces. So upstairs, obviously my wardrobe, my office, the shed, and an area in the boot room that are basically all connected, because I use them all for storage for the daily functions of my life. I found over the last kind of, I don't know, month or two, I've started to get a little bit bogged under with stuff, which is all stuff I need, but stuff that I'm not finding homes for. Like, just for example, I currently have a load of bee equipment in my office, which is not where it belongs. And so I need to make space in other areas to free up space in other rooms. My wardrobe upstairs is pretty messy at the moment. I've got so much stuff. It's also like work stuff as well, like campaign stuff, just all on the floors. It's really untidy. And as you know, I have a strong belief that a tidy environment is a tidy mind, and that definitely resonates with me. If I'm living in a space that isn't clean and tidy, I feel kind of like just distracted, and I don't feel like I can work to my potential. So today's basically about getting back on top of everything that was let go a little bit over the last couple of months, and get everything back on track basically. So I'm gonna get out into the shed now and just basically pull everything out. I've also got to take a business call. I'm not sure if any of you have ever seen on social platforms where people do like a green screen board behind them on a Zoom call, and they're like running around in the gym and everything, pretending they're at home. It's kind of going to be like a real life version of that. I'm going to be on a call whilst I'm clearing out my shed, and I'm not going to tell them I'm doing it. And also, by the way, a few weeks ago I did an unboxing, and I told you that I was trying out some L'Occitane products. It's not for a partnership or anything, they just very kindly sent out some stuff. And I've been wearing the deodorant, and big thumbs up, really enjoying it. It smells better than my deodorant that I'm using or have been using for many years, which is fantastic, and it has performance, so I don't get any issues with wearing it, so that's great. It's also a deodorant that is not supposed to cause marks on clothes, so like under the armpit, sometimes some deodorants can actually stain the armpits of the garment, and this is supposed to not not do that. So that's great, because I have found in the past some of my clothes have had deodorant stains where I've applied it and put on my clothes too quickly, which is fantastic. I also got some creams as well, which have been brilliant, nice and thick, and they do the trick overnight. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of like go back in time and just reference. I did say I was going to give you an update on those products, and I've really enjoyed them. So yeah, I'll leave a link down in the description box anyway, just so it's a little bit easier to find them rather than going back to that other video. But I'm going to stop rambling. Lydia's out in the garden already, enjoying the sun. You see, living her kitchen garden best life. I think what she's doing is tidying up some of the herbs and stuff that actually went to seed. Little belly rub. So anyway, let's get going. This is the state of the boot room area. So as you can see, I'm just absolutely rammed with bee suits. Also got bee suits on the side here as well. So I just need to tidy it all up basically and get it in the shed as opposed to in the house. This bee suit actually was worn yesterday by my friend Tim, because we went out to the hive and we found the queen. So it's the first time I've physically seen her. I knew she was in there because of the laying of eggs and stuff, but I hadn't actually seen her. So yeah, it was brilliant yesterday. We went out there and got a little glimpse. But anyway, I just thought I'd quickly let you know, because I thought that was great news. Well, as you can see, we've still got lots of stuff out of the shed, but I have been busy organising my bee equipment, which is something that was a priority for today. I actually purchased this eek, and one of the learnings that I had over the last few weeks was that there are different size Langstroth hives. So depending on the country, they're slightly different dimensions. So this was a bit too big, so I've just basically shrunk it down by taking it apart, sawing it down, and then restapling it and nailing it together. So it now fits on my box, lovely. So that's a fitting eek. And then I'm just trying to see if I can build something here to put my bee box and also potentially like the smoker and some other bits and bobs on. I've just been tidying out my cupboard. So I've got feed at the top and down the bottom. I've also got some feed foundations and also all of my little nails and screws and all of the other bits that come along with beekeeping, including 8-way escape and a entrance reducer. And then I've got a couple of spare holes here. I've also put all of my smoker fuel at the top, so I've got my wood chippings up here, and then I've got my starter there. I've just found these, which used to be a set of legs for a chair, and I'm thinking actually if I screwed those onto the wall like this somewhere, I could use those as hangers, which I might be able to put the bee suits on. And then I was thinking, oh, it'd be quite good to actually keep the bee suits in their bags like this if they're in the shed. That way they don't get covered in any bugs and creepy crawlies or anything else that might find their way into the suits when they're hanging there, especially over the winter. So that might mean that I can get some of the suits that people wear, because my suits will stay in the house, in this cupboard here. So these two shelves can be like guest bee suits, which would be really convenient. Cleared out 3 trays as well, so I've got 3 empty trays to put bits in. So we're getting there. I know it doesn't look like much changes when I do these organisation things, but it's like a huge workflow improvement, which is something that I really enjoy having and getting done. So there is change, it's just hard to see, especially when you're not used to seeing what the shed actually looks like. What I want to do eventually is basically extend out the back of the shed, fix the roof and the fascias, and then extend out the front. Well, we finally got a little home for all of the steel gear, which as you can see has just been slotted up on the wall, out of the way. So we've now got a little place for my bee box, for my super and spare brood box, and then we've got the car wash equipment, jet wash, etc. Steel gear, saw. I've cleared up some space on the shelving. Like I said, I've cleared those 3 boxes out. These bags of post mix will be gone anyway at some stage, so that'll clear up space to put wood in. Obviously wood will go in there for now until I get a wood store. And then we've got all of our fuel, 2-stroke gas and stuff over here. And then I'm just going to get all the gardening gear back in and maybe have a little rejig on this little section of the wall. And then we've gone through the bee equipment, and then this is where our golf clubs will go. Well, there we have it. Shed nicely organised. I can now get through the channel and into the open area. I can actually access everything without having to move other things out of the way, because that's what I was talking about when I mentioned about workflow. So I fixed all of these up on the wall, so they all have their own little space. I went through my screw tray and I organised all of that so everything's in the right compartment. And like I said, this will actually be gone probably by the time we get to the winter, so when the wood comes in that won't be there. Plus we'll have that storage over here. Very nice. I even put a little soft edge on this unit so I don't cut myself as I walk past it or rip any clothes. And yeah, it's all looking good. I'm very happy. It's such a beautiful evening. I love it when the sun comes through into the woodland. So nice. Lydia's been very busy working on all of the kitchen garden section today. It looks a lot tidier. She's done a sterling job. Well, good morning. It's been a very hectic morning. I've done gardening in a shirt. I've done a very tiny amount of electrics in a shirt. I've been editing, all because I was heading down to Blenheim Palace today with Lids. But before we left, I had some things I needed to do and they kind of just escalated one after another. So I ended up getting ready to go and then doing jobs. You know how it is. So a little bit hot, but we're just about to hit the road now. Lydia's going to be traveling separately because she needs to head off, but we're going to be going for afternoon tea. And then I'm going to utilise the facilities to take some lovely photos, hence the smart attire. So weather is looking okay, but we might be getting a little bit of rain, so fingers crossed we don't get hit too hard whilst we're there. Stay tuned, we're going to go and check it out, and we're going to switch over to the phone. So let's do this. Well, as you can see, we are at the beautiful Blenheim Palace, and we're just about to wrap up shooting. Lydia's arrived, and we're going to be going for an afternoon tea. One thing I absolutely love about Blenheim is the ducks here. I know it's a bit strange with all of this beautiful architecture and history, but there's this duck that's been following this couple around, and everywhere they go and take photos, the duck is there with them. And if you look just there, right there, that's the duck, and the couple are just sitting there, and it just follows them everywhere. It's the sweetest thing. Absolutely spectacular. Something I didn't actually know, you can actually come and sit on this park area here and have a picnic. Like, how cool is that? Just imagine, just over there around the trees, a little bit of shade, a little bit of sun. That little spot just there would be perfect. We've just sat down for afternoon tea, and we've very kindly been presented with a gift from Blenheim Palace. I can't tell you how cool this is. We have our very own Blenheim oak tree from seed, from the grounds, and it's actually potted in Blenheim soil. So we're going to find a really special spot in the garden to plant this, but that's really cool. And also they gave us 2 pots of honey and some jam. So they're absolutely nailing the gifts right now, but we're just about to tuck into some food. Cafetiere of coffee. So when that runs out, it's the perfect time to pour it.
That's when it's perfect. The optimum brew is reached.
Oh, I love that. Thank you very much.
No worries.
It's beautiful. So Liz has got about a minute left until
optimum tea drinking temperature
that's it. Yeah,
has been reached.
that's actually quite clever.
I think that's awesome.
Well, that's what they're for, aren't they? Usually, like a little
Oh really? Oh, I
egg
didn't
timers.
know.
Like, yeah, they always have them.
Or
for
egg
tea.
timers for eggs.
Maybe it's for eggs.
Boiling eggs. Do you know what would be really cool is if that was actually sugar, and then once it's finished,
You could use it.
get it out and put it in.
Yeah. James, I think you're onto something.
I know.
However, one of the boys are going to swap me a raisin scone for a non-raisin scone. Gracias. Thank you very much. Pleasure doing business with you.
Nice transfer.
So we've got the savouries down here, we've got some cream scones, got little cakes, and then we've also got this little cake here which looks very, very lovely. So this is our setting, and I just feel like I'm having the best day ever.
I feel like the laziest vlogger, but I've just let you vlog for me. I don't need to do anything now. I've just filmed Liz doing it for me, so that's going straight in my video. Thank you.
Duplicating content.
It's not duplicating, it's a different angle, different perspective.
Literally, you put your video up last night of London, and mine's not even up yet.
Good.
Bloody nightmare.
So why don't you head to my channel if you want to get it early, the early bird content.
No.
Yeah.
Stop it! You're butchering that.
Christmas pudding.
Christmas pudding.
Oh, that view never gets old.
Did it?
Literally took words out of my mouth. Why are we wearing our masks outside? Never gets old.
So convenient.
I know, look at those pots lids.
Oh, that's the pot goals, isn't it?
That's the pot goals.
Look, it's a little pot.
That's lovely. It's looking absolutely gorgeous at the minute. Would it be a visit to Blenheim Palace without showing the front of Blenheim Palace? It's a calf. The stables. Cafe. Little calf.
Ah, what? An actor in EastEnders.
Ah, go on that calf. Lovely. We both drove here this afternoon, so Lydia's taking the Rangy back. I'm in the Aston with my oak tree. And we've got an hour's drive, so we better get going. But hasn't it turned out to be such a lovely afternoon? I know it doesn't look it too much on the camera, but there's a lot more blue in the sky than there was earlier. Well, I've just received a lovely gift from Dutchy. This is their Balti travel set. It's made from Italian leather, and it's just come in time for travel season because there's lots going on. But as you can see, they're two nicely sized holdalls, so these would be great for short breaks. I've actually got a trip coming up this year to the Lake District, so this would be something that would be great to take for that. Just when you're travelling light. I actually just spent the weekend in Cardiff, so if I'd have had those then, these would have come with me. But yeah, I love it. The lining's really nice as well. And as you can see, you've got a little internal slip here, which is really convenient when you just need to like put your hand in and grab something. So sometimes like wallets and passports that you don't want to zip up, if you need to grab them going through airports or whatever, then that's sometimes quite convenient. And then if you don't want to get it quickly and you want it to be more secure, then you do have a zip pocket here that can be used inside. So yeah, very nice, very spacious. And it also comes with a shoulder strap as well. And as you saw, a tag here that you could attach whatever you like to it, I guess, couldn't you? Nice little quick release clip and two handles. So thank you to those guys. Very nice. Well, what an evening that just was. England have just gone through to the next stage in the Euros. Wimbledon has kicked off, and very soon we have the Formula One here at Silverstone in the UK. So it's incredible for sport right now, and I'm completely lapping it up. But it's come to that time of the video where I'm going to wrap this one up, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm not 100% sure what's coming up in the pipeline, but I do know that I'm going to be attending Silverstone, and also I'm hopefully going to be playing at Wentworth Golf Course. There are some other bits coming up as well, so yeah, it's going to be a little bit busier over on this channel over the next month or so, because things are starting to open up again. Events are starting to take place. It's really exciting stuff, but the diary is looking very busy. I'm not used to seeing my calendar like so busy with events and trips and stuff like that, and I'm just looking at it like, oh my God, how are we going to fit all this in? Been so used to just being at home and being able to just do stuff from the house, and now we've got to go here, there and everywhere. Think about what we're going to be packing and taking. We're getting back to the good old times. But anyway, I hope you have a good rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.
Bye.